The liftoff was at 11 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, a letter was put up to me by the range director saying, Dr. Sundaram, as project director of Prithvi, accepts full responsibility for the flight of Prithvi on 25th February 1988. Countdown continued, we had no glitch, it lifted off and came at the desired point without hardly any error, within the limits.
Can you explain the impact of Prithvi missile?
No indigenous missile had been designed, developed and fabricated, productionized in India till then. In 1998, I pushed drones. Nobody believed in drones. They laughed at my ideas when I presented at the Aeronautical Society, but the one person who said we'll support was Dr. Kalam. Dr. Kalam would sometimes say, you are an engineer, why are you bothering about materials? I said, Dr. Kalam, unless the material is there, with what do I design? I must know what materials I'm getting before I can design. The French, as they were leaving, turned, looked at me and told me, you will not be able to make it, and if you come to us, we will not give it to you. I did not say anything. When I came back to Hyderabad, I told Dr. Kalam, this is what I have done. So I went to Balco, the biggest aluminum factory, and asked the MD that I want aluminum from Balco for missiles. He called his marketing manager and said, Sundaram has come, he wants aluminum from us for his missiles. The marketing manager laughed in my face and said, so Dr. Kalam responded, what have you done, Sundaram? Nobody has done a strap-down initial navigation system in this country. It's a very difficult system. Dr. Kalam, we will do it. The various activities you have seen in Sindoor and other activities, the various activities you have seen in BrahMos, where the Russians accepted the inertial guidance system of the Prithvi as better than whatever the Russians had. It's not easy. It's an independent country and they took it. I have spent almost 70 years in defense, R&D, education, as well as industry work. What I would like to pass on as my own experience and conviction is,
there are moments in a nation's history that redefine its destiny. And there are individuals whose quiet courage and relentless conviction make those moments possible. Today on Point Break, we have the rare honor of sitting down with Lieutenant General Dr. V.J. Sundaram, a towering figure in India's missile journey. The man behind Prithvi, one of the first indigenously developed ballistic missiles and a key force in India's integrated guided missile development program. Dr. Sundaram's story is not just one of defense and deterrence. It's a saga of self-reliance, of saying no when the world doubted India's capabilities and proving instead that we could build what we needed with what we had right here at home. In this conversation recorded during our time with him in Bengaluru at his residence, we revisit the forgotten battles behind the battlefield, challenges with materials, systems, even mindsets, and how Dr. Sundaram, alongside Dr. Abdul Kalam and a league of funny guys, as he fondly puts it, helped shape India's missile defense narrative from scratch. This isn't just the story of missiles. It's the story of a nation learning to back itself when no one else would. A journey powered by persistence, precision, and pride in building from the ground up. Let's turn the clock back and hear what really went into building India's missile journey. Thank you, Sundaram sir, for taking the time to speak to us. So let's rewind back to the 80s and early 90s. How was the defense ecosystem and the DRDO at that point when you had taken up the missile program, leading the missile program after Dr. Abdul Kalam?
I would like to go back slightly earlier. DRDL, the Defense Development Laboratory, was established in 1962, and they took up an anti-tank missile as the first project. And this is when I joined it in 1968. The development had proceeded to some extent, but the services wanted it quicker, so it went to a production establishment like Bharat Dynamic Limited, and many of scientists from DRDO went to BDL. In general, the R&D effort had not fully matured, and the work continued with whatever we could do. And in 68, I was put on the indigenization of a surface-to-air missile given to India by Russia called the SAM-2. So after some time, the Russians stopped giving us spares, and missiles which are defending Bombay and Delhi and Calcutta were not fully operational. So the Indian Air Force wanted to indigenize, and I was given 3 months to give a feasibility report whether it can be made in India.
Yeah.
In that time, I submitted the feasibility report to our director, giving the funds, the time, and the manpower required. And when the director went through it, he told me, "Your high figures are too high, cut everything by 50%. I told him, I will not, because I believe in this report, so I won't do it. My director was very upset, and he just said, get lost. I got lost and joined ME in Aeronautics in Indian Institute of Science. When I finished it in 1972, a new director took me on DRDO, and he said that my old feasibility report had been accepted in toto by the government of India, and that I would come back.
Okay.
I accepted, provided it is permanent. They accepted it, and they said, only thing is you have to surrender your seniority in the regular army. I did that and joined.
Okay.
Now the atmosphere was different. The people who were there, the scientists and service officers, were fully determined to deliver the indigenized surface-to-air missile. And they were supported by DRDO headquarters and the army also, to some Air Force also. And we indigenized and flew it in the time series it was taken and given. But once it was done, the Air Force felt that now things have changed, and they said, no, we won't take it. It's fine. Our director then gave proposals for 4 missiles: the surface-to-surface missile, Prithvi, the surface-to-air missile, 10 kilometers, Trishul, the surface-to-air missile, 25 kilometers, Akash, and a new anti-tank missile, 4 kilometers.
Okay.
These were processed. Dr. Kalam worked on this and recommended by Dr. Arunachalam, the scientific advisor, and Mr. Venkatraman, Defense Minister. Indira Gandhi sanctioned the program for the 5 missiles as an integrated guided missile development program in 1983 July. When this was done, Dr. Kalam asked me to lead the design team and be the project director for Prithvi, the 150 kilometer surface ballistic missile. I had been done the ME, and then I had done my PhD in my spare time along with other work, and I promised my wife that after this over I would be able to relax a little more. But with this commitment, I realized that I'll be fully occupied for at least 10 years. So I told Dr. Kalam, I'll have to ask my wife. The good thing of Dr. Kalam is he did not say no. He just said, go and ask. So when I asked my wife, she was initially against it. But later on, when I said, okay, I'll go and tell Dr. Kalam that I'm not taking it up, she said, no, go and accept. So I went and told Kalam, I'll accept it. He was happy. But then I added, Dr. Kalam, I still have some points which you have to consider. Number 1, I want the user representative in my office. Second, I'll be using maximum indigenous systems. Because why indigenous system? The program does not say you have to use indigenous systems only. You can use the foreign items also. I said, no, Dr. Kalam, you'll do your R&D, but they'll prevent it from being produced. All the Western countries will join together and see that you do not get the critical points. It has to be maximum indigenous components. We agreed. Then I said there will be no compromise on quality and reliability. I will follow all rules and regulations. I will have total transparency, and research, development and production will be done concurrently. Concurrently, before the final test, I said yes, concurrently. Only then we will be able to meet the schedules. He said, okay, it's a good point you have there. Then what else you want to do? I said, I'll make sure that only realistic times, funds and manpower are projected. These must be accepted, otherwise we will not be able to deliver it. Please tell me if these are acceptable. If they are not, then leave me out of this one. Dr. Kalam told me, you're a funny guy, Sundaram, and you seem to have a bunch of funny guys. But I realize what you're saying and I'll back you. That is when, in August 1983, I took over to lead the design team for Prithvi and be its project director. He then gave me the schedule. I said, no, I'll work out and come back to you. So when I gave it, after 1 month, I said it will take 4.5 years for the first flight. His opinion was 4.5 years, that's too long. I said, no, we know nothing about a ballistic missile and nobody is going to help us, nor can we ask for it. Please accept 4.5 years, and you have laid down a time when it should be inducted into the army, that I will meet.
Yeah.
He said, if that is so, go ahead. So, but I also told him, I need the support of academic institutions, I need the support of industry, and I need total transparency in my dealings with them. These have to be ensured. These were also accepted, and I started the project.
Okay, sir. So, can you explain the impact of Prithvi missile? Like, how significant is it in today's day and age?
No indigenous missile had been designed, developed, and fabricated, productionized in India till then. We always had whatever missile, was an anti-tank missile or a surface-to-air missile, came only from the West. And they always had supply chain problems. They will not give spares, they will not give critical technology, and if they are not stuck, they will not respond in time. So the users were always at the receiving end of a foreign country. This is what I wanted to totally delete and see whatever we do, we take the full responsibility. India takes the full responsibility, and the feasibility I had done for the surface-to-air missile earlier told me that India can do it. And that's what we embarked on.
Yeah, so sir, can you tell me where Prithvi is used today?
Today, Prithvi is used in the nuclear option. It was later, one day, I was called by Dr. Kalam and the Defense Secretary, as China has given M11s to Pakistan, and Pakistan is threatening to hit India with nukes, warheads, which they have got from North Korea and Western. And can we stop the missiles which they have acquired from China from hitting India? I told the defense secretary, give me a week's time. I went back, then returned. I told him, as far as the missiles is concerned, we will modify the Prithvi to use it. It will be one Prithvi as the enemy, another Prithvi with the second stage as the Prithvi air defense. But you have to add radar and computer. This is as they said, if we accept, but don't talk about it for the time being. We'll come back to you when you are ready. This is what happened. And today, Prithvi is a nuclear capable missile. It can carry, for which you have to do special trials. I did these special trials for carrying a nuclear weapon also before I left DRDO in 97. So we had a new missile carrier ready with us. At this stage, Mr. Devegowda, was Chief Minister, said, move Prithvis to the border. So they went to Punjab, they had to go to Punjab. This was stopped by the US. But later on, the situation became worse. And when Mr. Gujral was the Prime Minister, the Prithvis were moved to the border in Punjab as nuclear capable missiles. Since they are now nuclear capable missiles, they are not fitted with conventional warheads. Because if the Prithvi goes up, the person is only going to assume that a nuke could also be there. So Prithvis do not carry a nuke warhead, carry an ordinary warhead. It only carry a nuke warhead. And ordinary warheads, conventional warheads, are done by a slightly different missile called Pralay, which is more slim and slightly longer.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So speaking about indigenous system, talking about self-reliance, so what are these? Like, okay, what is an indigenous material that we have?
See, indigenous materials are even basic materials like aluminium, magnesium, and titanium, which is needed for all missiles. I went to HAL for getting these made, and the factory manager told me, if you want indigenous thing, we can make it. But you have to get the aluminium from France, America, or Canada. You will not get it from India. So I went to Balco, the biggest aluminum factory, and asked the MD that I want aluminium from Balco for missiles. He called his marketing manager and said, Sundaram has come. He wants aluminium from us for his missiles. The marketing manager laughed in my face and said, Balco to give missile materials, aluminium. We only give aluminium for cooking utensils and bus bodies. We cannot give for missiles. I requested the chairman, will you allow me to go to Korba and bring up the quality to what I need for Prithvi? He said yes. So I used to go every month to Korba in Madhya Pradesh from Hyderabad, we monitor all its critical stages, and finally we got the required quality. Though Dr. Kalam would sometimes say, you are an engineer, why are you bothering about materials? He said, Dr. Kalam, unless the material is there, with what do I design? I must know what materials I am getting before I can design. And they have given it. Similarly, we have to do for magnesium. Similarly, we have to do for titanium. And today, all these materials required are available to us from India.
And indigenous systems.
Platform navigation system had been made by DRDO and tried out in the Canberra bomber.
Okay.
Platform navigation system was also used in the SLV-3, but this would not be applicable for the Prithvi because the maneuvers are more in the Prithvi and we are not sure of the minimum and maximum. So we wanted what is called a strapped-down inertial navigation system, and this had never been done. And when we went to Lucknow for making some of the sensors, the French team had also come for the sensors, and they offered us that they can give us the transfer of technology for a strapped-down inertial navigation system. I said, we would like to try to do it ourselves. The chairman of HAL and the French team said, what's wrong with you? You cannot make it in India. Please take it from us. We're asking a very nominal sum. Then the MD said, let's meet tomorrow. So next day early morning, I put the navigation person, Mr. Banerjee, for a walk and told him, Banerjee, your team can do the navigation system. Do you accept the challenge? He said, yes, sir. Okay. Then I came back to the meeting and again told them, we would like to do it ourselves. The French, as they were leaving, turned, looked at me and told me, you will not be able to make it, and if you come to us, we will not give it to you. I did not say anything. When I came back to Hyderabad, I told Dr. Kalam, this is what I have done. So, Dr. Kalam responded, what have you done, Sundaram? Nobody has done a strapped-down inertial navigation system in this country. It's a very difficult system. Dr. Kalam, we will do it. I need help of 4 universities. I need the help of 4 industries. And our own team will integrate and work with them. We'll manage 8 industries in parallel. Yes, we will. But I'm confident we will do it. But you have to get me the sanctions. Because normally the government of India will not give you sanctions for so many other times. We got them. That was the strength of Dr. Kalam. And using these, we said we're confident we could do that. But I also wanted a digital flight control system which was not available in India. I went to Mr. Kadam, who was the flight control system person who had done for SLV-3 and told him we want the control system for Prithvi. He said, no problem, sir. Kadam, tell me, is it analog or digital? Analog, sir. So I don't want analog, I want digital. Sir, I've never done digital. Then Kadam, learn, and then we'll do it. Sir, there will be delay. Don't worry about it. I'll handle, but you do it. That's the correct route. Right, sir, done. He did that. Then I went to the computer person, Ramana Sai. MD, computer kavala. Chestam, sir. ISRO, they've used Motorola and they're flying it in their SLV-3 and they're doing SLV-3. Raman Sai, tell me, is it floating point or fixed point? Fixed point, sir. Motorola. I want floating point. I cannot give you the fixed and these values for minimum and maximum. You have to do something which can handle. Then I have to go to Intel. We have never done it. Please do it. There will be delay. Let there be. I'll accept it. All three did it. And the delay was there, but not as much as they expected. They did it. And we were able to put all the three together and give a strapped-down inertial navigation system, which was qualified by simulation by Dr. Chaudhary. And everything was ready for the final launch down. With other systems also indigenously obtained systems, and that is how we were ready for our first flight launch.
So, sir, when did you have the first launch?
We had promised that we will do it by February 1988. We were ready for the launch by 25th February 1988. Everybody was very sympathetic with us, and they told me, Sundaram, you have worked a lot, but you have used many Indian subsystems. How can it succeed? It is bound to fail. I did not say anything. Went to mission control. The liftoff was at 11 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, a letter was put up to me by the range director saying, Dr. Sundaram, as project director of Prithvi, accepts full responsibility for the flight of Prithvi on 25th of 1988. The countdown continued. We had no glitch. It lifted off and came at the desired point without hardly any error, within the limits. Everybody was surprised. Dr. Kalam jumped up and said, Prithvi, funny guys have done it. That was this rallying point for India to realize that India can make missiles without inputs from abroad. That gave a very big rise for whatever individual act we wanted to do for missiles. This, I would say, was the most significant event as far as Prithvi was concerned. It gave India confidence that India can do it without inputs from abroad.
So, and you kept saying the funny guys. That's what Dr. Abdul Kalam used to call you. Funny guys. So how did that term come about and it just stuck?
The funny guys term started when I gave all the points I need for him to accept, right from using indigenous systems to which I mentioned right in the beginning. He said, you're a funny guy, Sundaram, and you've got a bunch of funny guys with you. You're all funny guys. But he never meant it in a derogatory way. He meant it as an appreciation of the fact that we were prepared to take on new and what seemed like funny ideas and bring it to success.
Yeah.
That was, I would say, Dr. Kalam's strength to bring out the best in his team. He did that. And it coincided very well with my thoughts also.
So then when you look back now, I mean, looking at the kind of developments, the kind of efforts you had to put in at that point, to now, when we come to the current scene of defense ecosystem, would you say it's become more, maybe simpler and a little more easier for us now to procure things, build things, make it happen?
The systems are not simpler. The confidence is greater and our knowledge base is higher and the database is higher. All this have helped us to bring out the various activities you have seen in Sindoor and other activities, the various activities you have seen in BrahMos, where the Russians accepted the initial guidance system of the Prithvi as better than whatever the Russians had. It's not easy. It's an independent country and they took it. And that is our biggest contribution. When you say BrahMos is a joint venture, we gave the initial guidance, the Russians gave the engine. It was a shake hands. in the true sense.
So, with the global perception of India's missile mission at that time, did a lot of pressure come with it, with a lot of inertia? So, how did you tackle that and navigate that with your team members?
The success of Prithvi made the morale very high for not only the Prithvi team, but the DRDO teams as a whole that India can achieve. Yes, of course there was pressure, but the confidence was there that we can meet it and meet it head on. And that is what has been done in the various products you have seen coming out of DRDL, other missile laboratories, as well as the other DRDO laboratories which supported the missile program, for which we are very grateful to India, the armed forces, the government, and other industries, academic institutions, which supported us. Without that, you could not have made the missiles. That gave the confidence to others that this is an area which supports us, and they joined in. Otherwise, you could not have done it on our own. It is a total joint effort of all the agencies involved. And that is where we feel good about it. And well, our people outside, maybe in the developed countries, are a little disappointed that we are succeeding so well.
Yeah. So, sir, when the history of India's missile program is written 100 years from now, what do you want it to be remembered for? What do you wish is always never forgotten?
What would like people to remember is that we took on this, should I say, challenge when we were not very much in forefront. It was built up gradually with effort from everyone, from our teachers, from our training institutions, from our labs, from industries, from civilian laboratories, and as well as, I would say, the popular at large and the government to have the confidence, well, India can deliver. It was a cooperation of a total all-Indian cooperation which has helped us to achieve what we are achieving, and this has to continue. If you are to achieve, there will be problems and there will be competition from other countries. They also realized what India can do, and the efforts to stop that will also be more. We have to be prepared for that and work harder. That's all I can say. And they should remember that we at the earlier days did our best and delivered what we could at that particular time.
So, right now, sir, what is keeping you busy? What are you working on?
Well, after leaving, I won't say after I left missiles, but towards the end, when I was not so actively involved, in 1998, I pushed drones. Nobody believed in drones. They laughed at my ideas when I presented at the Aeronautical Society, but the one person who said we'll support was Dr. Kalam. And so the drone industry started. 1999, we gave a 20-year program in which we envisioned not only swarms coming in by the middle of 2010, 2015, but even cyborgs. Drones have come in a very big way. The national program was first sanctioned. We put up a national program for the cyborgs. Well, they have accepted a program for rodent cyborgs to locate people who are trapped under debris, which were blessed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Indian Science Congress in 2020 at Bangalore. And a special laboratory has been set up near Hyderabad who is working on this particular aspect. They have succeeded in implanting a chip in a rat's brain to obey commands to turn left, right, or go straight. There is one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is to train it. That also is starting because some of the things have been done. We are thinking of collaborating, even if need be, with other institutions to achieve this, because that will help us to the many people who are getting trapped and maybe even die there when they're trapped under rubble. So that is under progress, and that is the area which I am trying to help as best as I can.
Got it, sir. So, sir, are you still following the defense space as you used to before, and what do you think of it right now?
I do follow progress in defense, particularly defense R&D, but only what is published in literature, published by DRDO, or in open literature across the world. I do not actively interface with those activities because as defense, as R&D for defense, they can be classified. I do not want to hear. But one area which I do push is when we talk of AI. I say AI stands for artificial intelligence, but I also say AI stands for animal intelligence. I look at the possibility of coupling animal intelligence and artificial intelligence for locating people trapped under them. It can be done. So my effort is concentrated more in that area. And I feel happy that more and more people or some people are coming in to join that effort. It is happening today. When it will actually succeed, finally come out, I am not able to say at present, but it will happen.
Okay.
And India needs it, the world needs it. That is my aim. And this is one blessing which Dr. Kalam gave me when I told him about this area. Well, before he passed away, he said, Sundaram, what you are trying to do will help the whole world. I hope to do that.
So, sir, so coming to the end of this discussion, if you had to give an advice to the current people who wish to join the defense ecosystem or the ones who are already there, what would it be, sir?
I have spent almost 70 years in defense, R&D, education, as well as industry work. What I would like to pass on as my own experience and conviction is that whatever you do, whichever field you are, there are certain principles which you should follow. The first is truth. The second is transparency. Third is teamwork. And fourth, whatever you may do, you must also look at how to have transparency, how to have technical competence, how to work with industry, academia, as well as the user and the defense R&D, and combine research, development, and production so that finally we get products for India which are Indian designed, developed, and manufactured. That is the aim which AI in its true sense can do.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, sir.
When history is written 100 years from now, may it never forget the grit behind India's missile power. Before India became a space-faring, nuclear-capable country, there were men and women who built not just machines, but trust in India's own hands. Lieutenant General Dr. V.J. Sundaram taught us that self-reliance is not a slogan. It is a discipline. That greatness doesn't come from imported parts, but from indigenous hearts. As India now leads in drones, AI, and defense tech, we owe much to pioneers like him who laid the groundwork with nothing but conviction and country. From all of us at Point Break, thank you, Dr. Sundaram, for your service, for your stories, and for showing us that India's best is built in India. Jai Hind.